Welcome to my first look video of the Marco Polo. It is one of the two main reward prizes at the end of the Double Impact campaign. It's either the Marco Polo or the Marlborough. So this time we're going to check out the Marco Polo. The ship does have devastating 16-inch guns and can be quite effective out there in a standard match. So with that, let's check out the setup of the ship and the commander, who is Angelo Iachino. Base trait is Go Away, which will improve your battleship's main battery shell grouping depending on ship type. And as you can see, the cruisers do have a little bit better shell grouping than the destroyers or the battleships, but all ships do have a little bit better shell grouping based on the ship type there. And for inspirations, I have Andrew Cunningham, Concentrated Devastation, which improves the battleship's main battery shell grouping. And then I have Robert Joujard, Borer, which improves the battleship's armor-piercing shell penetration. And then we have a standard accuracy build here with Flammable Cannoneer, which will improve the main battery range and shell grouping, but it is at the risk of catching fire. Then we have Gyrating Drill Bit, which improves the battleship gun traverse speed and its AP shell damage, but it is at the cost of the maximum battleship speed. And then we have Marksmanship, which improves the dispersion of the main battery, but it is at the cost of the rudder shift time. The last skill is Reaching Out XXL, which improves the main battery range. And then a legendary skill is Testudo, which reduces the incoming damage from shells, torpedoes, and bombs to your battleship while the repair party is active, and it does add an extra repair party charge. So the unique thing about this particular legendary skill is, as you rank up, you will reduce the amount of incoming damage from the shells, torpedoes, or bombs all the way up to 20%. It does not depend on a radius to an allied or enemy ship. So I wanted to point that out. And then for the upgrades for the Marco Polo, we have Aiming Systems Mod 1, which improves the dispersion of the main battery and the secondary battery firing range, and its dispersion is also improved. And then we have Propulsion Mod 2, time taken to reach full power is reduced in half. And then we have Concealment System Mod 1, detectability range is improved, as is the incoming fire dispersion. This doubles up on your maximum incoming fire dispersion from a fully upgraded camo. And then we have the Main Battery Mod 3, which will improve the main battery reload time, but you do take a hit on the traverse speed of the main guns. And then the last one is we did go with the semi-armor piercing shells here, and the reload time does take a little bit of a hit. It goes up to 31.7 seconds. I believe this adds like 3 seconds or so to the reload time by going with the semi-armor piercing shells versus the high explosive shells. So if you want a quicker reload time, stick with the HE shells. And then the loadout, as I said, we have semi-armor piercing shells and regular armor piercing shells, which we will get into in a little bit. Then we have the damage control party consumable. Duration is 15 seconds, reloads every 76 seconds, and there's a unlimited number of those consumables. Then we have the repair party consumable, which will partially restore the ship's HP by repairing any light damage at the rate of 345 hit points per second. It runs for 28 seconds and it reloads every 76 seconds, and there are 5 consumables here, which is awesome. And then we have the smoke generator consumable. This is rolling smoke. Duration is 45 seconds, disperses in 10 seconds, but it runs for 45 seconds. As I said, each puff disperses in 10 seconds is what that is. It reloads every 142 seconds, and there are 3 of those consumables. You do have to watch the stats to see what your detection range while you're in the smoke, because it is not like a cloak screen when the smoke is going. You still have to watch out for the detection ranges, which is probably going to be like 15 kilometers or so. We'll see when we get to the stats. And then I selected the catapult fighter consumable here rather than the spotter or the secondary enhanced targeting, because I want to go with a little bit better detection range. Catapult fighter will also detect ships or anything else out there, it seems like. So that's why I've gone with the catapult fighter. It also helps when you're in a match with an aircraft carrier. Duration is 90 seconds, reloads every 76 seconds, and you have 4 of those consumables. And here I'm loaded up with the boosters, but I did want to go with the Epic Battle Booster to max out the range of the main guns for the highlight video. And the camo, the ship does come with a Type 9 Premium Permanent Camouflage. See, detectability range and incoming fire dispersion is 4.5%. And the stats, survivability hit points is 69,100. Armor is 19 to 410 millimeter, 25% torpedo damage reduction. Artillery, you have 9 guns, 406 millimeters. They are 16-inch guns. They reach all the way out to 19.1 kilometers, which is awesome. Reload every 31.7 seconds, and the traverse time is 30.8 seconds. Armor piercing shell damage is 14,355. Semi-armor piercing shell damage is 14,100, which is awesome. You get some surprising results here with the semi-armor piercing shells. The secondaries, not really much to speak about. The range is only 5.2 kilometers. That's why we didn't really enhance the secondaries at all. AE defenses, this is a lot of guns. You may clear the sky with the Marco Polo. Time will tell. Maneuverability, maximum speed is 29.7 knots, 860 meter turning circle radius, and the rudder shift time is 17.5 seconds. Concealment, now this is what we're talking about with the smoke generator. Let's check that out. But the detectability range by sea is 13.5 kilometers. Range by air is 11.3 kilometers, and yep, 15.1 kilometers if you're firing in the smoke. So as I said, that rolling smoke is not a cloaking screen. You have to watch out for the 15.1 kilometer range that you will still be visible within. Armor, okay, so this looks pretty good armor-wise for a Tier 8 battleship. A lot of yellow and orange armor here. Let's remove that armor and take a look at the Citadel, which I have not done yet. And ooh, so it looks like a little bit of turtleback armor, but that is 25 to 26 millimeters. So if you get hit right at the right angle there, you will have a problem. And okay, 34 to 75 millimeter. Yeah, so I'm not really sure that you want to really do any bow tanking. It would probably be okay. Cause any armor piercing shell to ricochet at appropriate angles though. So yeah, you have to magically find those quote unquote appropriate angles, and you do a little bit better with some plunging fire because you have cruiser grade armor on the top of the Citadel. And yeah, so you definitely want to watch it with going broadside here with the Marco Polo, pretty much as with any battleship in this game. Overview, the ship has big guns armed with high caliber main battery guns, and yeah, those 16-inch guns will devastate the red team ships. And it does have superior armor piercing damage, that is no kidding, and you will see that in the highlight. And it is fast, above average maximum movement speed, and almost 30 knots is pretty darn fast. So then the Marco Polo is a variant of a battleship that was designed by Italy in the mid 1930s. A further development of the Vittorio Veneto class warships with 406 millimeter main guns. Year of design was 1936, and it doesn't look like there were any ships in the series. So hey, good thing we have it in the game here. And that's it for the setup of the ship and the commander. Let's go out and check out the second or third battle I had with the Marco Polo in a standard match. All right, here we go. We are in Two Brothers, and I've got to tell you, with the 15 kilometer detection of the smoke, while you're firing within the smoke, I'm not sure how many times I'm going to be using the smoke generator, but I'm going to try to remember to use it throughout this match. Definitely do not want to go out in the middle of the kill box there in Two Brothers. So I always like to start out behind these islands here. There was another Marco Polo. Probably trying out the ship in one of the first few matches. Here is a Marlborough. Here's the other campaign ship. So let's see what happens when we take a shot at him. He's going broadside. So here's what happens when you go broadside. Basically, do not go broadside, because that kind of a result will happen for you. 23,000 damage taken off that Marlborough right on the first salvo right there. So he has not adjusted his course, so I'm kind of looking at that guy as an easy mark. I guess he's angled out just a little bit, but we're going to take another shot at him. It does look like a good target. I'm backing up a little bit. Like I said, I really don't want to go out and be exposed to everybody. And there is another Citadel. So Marlborough owners, beware. Do not go broadside if you're in the Marlborough. And this is why I generally do not move around very much at the beginning of matches, especially because you have to go broadside against people like this. So this is a bad deal here. He doesn't really have much left, and he is certainly gone the next time he gets hit by anybody. And check it out, it is our shell that gets him. So 45,000 damage on 11 main gun hits, all within the first few minutes here of the match. There's a Richie Lou. I don't really want to go out in the open, especially since I am kind of broadside to the guy. If I was out in the open, I would make sure that I'm not broadside and try to maintain a little bit of an angle. But here, this Wichita, it looks like if I can get a shot on him, he would be in a little bit of trouble, just like that Marlborough. So I'm going to take a shot there and see what happens. There looks like a teammate is asking for a little bit of help. And I'm helping the best I can right here, but I'm not going to go out in the kill box and put the ship at risk. And it looked like we did get a couple more hits on the Wichita, another 4,000 damage. Not a big time result like I was hoping for. And he is pretty much nestled up behind that island there. And here's the Richie Lou going bow on, and that is definitely the strategy with any Richie Lou or Jean Bart, really. So yeah, you want to keep that in mind. And the Le Foudard, I guess, since that is a variation of the Jean Bart. But yeah, that Wichita doesn't really look like he's going to be around much longer. And when we get him, we will clear out this side of the map and we'll concentrate on the other side of the Two Brothers map. So this looks like he is going to be gone, and he is gone before our shells even get there. So we are going to be careful with this Richie Lou, even though it looks like he is taking aim at our teammates right here, which are 5 kilometers closer. But here is a destroyer within our cap, Hayate, so we are going to come around and deal with him. And I'm going to assume that my teammates are going to square away the Richie Lou over there. We cannot afford to have our base taken by a rogue ship over here, so I have to come around and deal with this, I figure. And as soon as we clear the island, we're going to take a shot at him. This looks pretty good, so we'll see if we get some hits. And I'm going very cautiously because I'm looking out for any torpedoes that might be coming my way. And it doesn't look like there will be any torpedoes, so we're just going to motor in here and look to get back in the base and move out of harm's way of the Richie Lou, and just assume that my teammates are going to take care of the Richie Lou over there. So we're going to come back over here and take a look at the other side of the map, especially since it looks like the side that we started on is pretty well cleared out. Right, we have like 5 minutes left in the match, and we've done 53,000 damage, 2 Citadel hits, and a destroyed ship. We have not switched to semi-armor piercing shells yet. We haven't really had much of an opportunity. But yeah, I am blind. I probably should release my fighter, but I don't think that the fighter is going to spot the destroyer in the smoke. There, I had 2 fires started, so I did hit the fire extinguisher there. And here's a Marco Polo going broadside. So do you want to go broadside against another Marco Polo? Let's check it out.
Problem solved, sir.
You do not, because there is a Citadel hit. We're up to 79,000 damage. And here I'm trying to angle away. I definitely do not want to give this guy my broadside. I want to maintain those appropriate angles. And those look like the semi-armor piercing shells. I'm not really sure that they did very much, but we are sticking with armor piercing at this point. I think the semi-armor piercing would have been the shells to use against that destroyer. I know with the cruisers, the semi-armor piercing shells can essentially one-shot a destroyer, so you want to keep that in mind as you're playing the ship. You'll probably get the same result. And here are some torpedoes coming in. Luckily, I was at the right position where I evaded those torpedoes. We have 3.5 minutes left almost, and we still have not used the semi-armor piercing shells. Here we did engage the smoke, but we're still spotted because the Marco Polo is within 12 kilometers. So, like I said, the smoke screen, the rolling smoke, has limited effectiveness, especially when they get in close enough and you want to take some shots at them. You almost might as well not even fire the smoke screen. But here, this Marco Polo, this looks like a good deal right here. And yeah, we take that guy out with 2 Citadel hits, a devastating strike. That is awesome. We're up to a 126,000 damage, 5 Citadel hits, 36 main gun hits, and we're moving away from the Kronstadt. The Kronstadt would definitely do some damage to us if we gave him our broadside, so we're not looking to give him the broadside. He's focused on my teammate, and here I do switch to the semi-armor piercing shells, especially since it's against a cruiser, even though it is the Kronstadt with, well, it's got battleship grade or battleship type health numbers at 70,000 plus HP for the Kronstadt. That is a super heavy cruiser. I'm waiting for the fire to almost extinguish itself before I hit the other heel. We've got 4 heels left, so that's the thing with these Italian battleships, is you get a big time amount of heels. We get a high caliber medal on that one hit, and we do hit the next heel. We have 3 left. Only 1:48 left in the match. I don't think we're going to be using the other 3 heels. But yeah, hopefully this gives you some idea what to expect from the Marco Polo. And I have gotten great results in the Marco Polo so far. Devastating strike, high caliber medal, and we went back to the armor piercing shells. Hopefully we can take this guy out. And now the secondaries are starting to come into play, and you can look at all the damage that the Kronstadt did on that one salvo because we were broadside. So let that be a lesson to you. We got lucky there. Kronstadt can definitely cause a lot of damage, and looks like we're going to take this guy out on this next salvo, and we do. So, all right, we have 1 battleship left, but we have less than a minute to go in the match. All right, well, that was a big-time victory for the Marco Polo, and probably like the second match I've had with the Marco Polo. That is an awesome result. 409,000 credits on 139,000 battle performance total damage, 46 main gun hits, 3 destroyed ships, 5 Citadel hits, only 8 secondary hits. So yeah, watch out for those secondaries. They're not really all that effective. High caliber medal, a devastating strike medal. Let's see how we did on the team result. You can see we got some big XP numbers there because we were running those boosters. All right, not a super great score, but it was second place overall in the second match with the Marco Polo. We did destroy more ships than anyone else in the match, so that's a good result. 210,000 credits by the time it was all said and done. All right, well, that's it for a first look at the Marco Polo. Hopefully you get some idea of what the ship's all about, so when you get to that point where you get to make a choice between the Marco Polo and the Marlborough, you'll at least have a little bit of an idea on the Marco Polo. I definitely like the ship. This is the Jaguar, and I'll see you on the high seas. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe if you like it.